Hello everyone, I'm Senora Perez. I'm just making this video for everyone who wasn't able to come to the Costa Rica informational meeting, so you guys can see what we talked about quickly, and I can run through the PowerPoint with you that I presented. A little bit about myself. I'm a Spanish and history teacher at Wagenheim Middle School. I previously taught Spanish for Spanish speakers in South San Diego. I love to travel. I've traveled all over Mexico, all over South America as well. I traveled to Argentina at the age of 14 for a month, actually, through a foreign exchange program, and that was one of the best experiences of my life. I'll go into that a little more in depth as we go through the PowerPoint. Really important slide. Please use Miss Perez Costa Rica at gmail.com for all things Costa Rica. I would like to reserve my work email for issues with the students or parents that are in my classes and communication with other teachers. I'd also like you guys to know that this is not a Wagenheim sponsored trip. The other trips that occur at the school, like the East Coast trip, are also not Wagenheim sponsored trips. So in 2012 there was a lawsuit brought up at the federal level because education in the United States has to be free of charge. And anything offered, you can see it says whether it is elective or not. If it should be offered to all students, and it needs to be free, so the school would have to pay for it. Obviously, we want our students to experience these experiences and not miss out on these opportunities, so we do have to do them outside of school. Our meeting is going to cover why travel is important, where we're going and what we're going to be doing, our travel partner, safety approach, what's included and what's not, and how to reserve your spot on the trip. Why travel? I'm passionate about travel and language learning. I'm a Spanish teacher. I realize the importance and the benefit of being bilingual. This tour is great for our group. Why? Because not everyone is able to take Spanish at the middle school level. Some kids are in orchestra or band or choir, and that's their passion. I want them to take what they're passionate about, of course. Once a student gets to high school, though, 2 years of language is required. This is going to put the students ahead and just make them feel more prepared and more confident in that Spanish class. It also helps the students become global citizens. They're able to see that there's more out there than just San Diego or just the United States. They're able to have experiences, with people from other cultures and see the world through different perspectives. Also on this trip, there will be a chaperone to student ratio of 1:6. And I do have a peer buddy requirement, so I'll always have my eyes on them. I'm used to watching 36 kids at a time, so I think I'll be able to handle 6. A look at a day on our tour. So I'm going to attach the website below in the information for the YouTube video, so you can click on that and go through the whole itinerary. But what's unique about this trip is each day is centered around a theme. So for example, day 6 is culinary traditions. In the morning, they review and practice food-related vocabulary during their interactive lesson. In the afternoon, we'll actually visit an organic farm, and they'll get to harvest their own vegetables. And this day we'll actually visit a chocolate farm as well. And in the evening, they'll learn to prepare local specialties in a cooking class with the food they've actually harvested themselves. So it takes what they're learning in the classroom setting, and they have to use it and interact with it and put it in place, and then they have to create something with it. So it goes through all the aspects of learning. Tour highlights. You'll have to look through the itinerary on the website to see exactly what we're going to be doing, but this is what I'm most excited about. Day 3, we get to learn about Costa Rican biodiversity, how different Costa Rica is to us, which is going to be exciting for the kids to be able to compare. We're taking a zipline canopy tour. Day 4, environmental sustainability and ecotourism. They are going to explore an eco-lodge and learn about alternative energy, microorganisms, and sustainable agriculture. This is really important because they're going to be able to take what they're learning back home with them and apply it to their daily lives. And day 6, Costa Rica culinary traditions, which we just talked about. All my students know that I love sweets. I'm a big fan of chocolate. So I'm very excited to tour a chocolate farm and learn why Costa Rica is becoming a top exporter of this sweet treat. This is a student who went on this tour last summer. So about her language classes, she said that the teacher tried to barely speak in English, which forced the students to think, write, and talk all in Spanish. They're forced to interact with the language. Cultural activities. I was able to use what I learned in classes during our adventures, such as the hands-on experience of making pottery. And language confidence. Now next year I'll be much more confident as a Spanish student because I got to practice my skills with the locals. So that's one thing as a language teacher that we talk about is an effective filter. So anyway, it's about the confidence students have when they're speaking. So it can either be a high filter, which means they're very, very shy, very aware of their surroundings and what people are going to think of them, or low. They're super, outgoing. They don't care. They just let it go and practice. And that is the best way to learn a language. So it's really a benefit to put them in a situation like this where they're forced to practice and they gain that confidence in their speaking. This is a more engaging learning experience. So they learn to, not only do they learn to express themselves in another language, but they discover their learning style, which really prepares them. Middle school prepares them for high school for college. And this is going to just teach them about themselves. They learn in the classroom setting the language, and then they put it into practice, and then they get to reflect on it in this all in one day. So they're going to see what works for them and learn how to learn, which is so important at this age. We're bringing the classroom subjects, people, and places to life because they're making authentic connections with the locals. For example, they're going to learn about the food, as we discussed, and how to say it and how to use the language. And then they're actually going to go have to pick it and interact with locals there and harvest their own vegetables. And they get develop the ability to take on any new experience with confidence and self-awareness. So I was super shy before I traveled to Argentina. Super, super shy. Now I have the confidence to walk up to anyone, anywhere, and strike up a conversation, ask for directions even, whatever it is. I became much more outgoing. It's a unique experience, and it really, really helps you grow as an individual. EF Tours, that's the company we're going to be using for this trip. So why EF? Why did I choose EF? Well, I've worked with them before. They have 50 years of experience, a global and local presence. So say something happened and I needed somebody there immediately, someone would be able to walk out of their front door and meet me. Educational value. This is a big one. We'll go into it a little more as well, but it is an accredited institution, just like our school is. So they can earn high school and college credit for this for this trip, and it will count as a course. And say they don't want to earn the language credit and they want to take the Spanish class, which is what I highly recommend. This is still great to have the transcript sent to the high school so you can include it on your college applications. And the company offers incredible travel experiences with all the itineraries already planned and the guaranteed lowest price. They also are very committed to safety, which is really important to me. As a teacher, safety is our primary concern. Obviously learning as well, but we need to make sure our students are safe to be able to learn. So there's a 24/7 language immersion program director, chaperones with the 1-to-6 ratio, and the chaperones will be Wagenheim teachers. 24-hour emergency on-call service, a peace of mind policy. So say we were traveling to France and it was a week before the terrorist attack. We could use the peace of mind policy and tell them we're not comfortable with this right now. We would like to switch our trip to this location, or we'd like to change the date, or as a group we can decide, no, we're not comfortable going right now, we want to wait. So they'll give us travel vouchers so we can use at a later date anytime to go anywhere. My personal approach to safety, like I said, as a teacher, it is very important to me. I always want to make sure my students are safe. I do have the peer buddy requirement when we travel abroad, so that is a non-negotiable. They will have a buddy that they're responsible for being with during the trip. Why group travel? So we'll be traveling with other groups who are taking this tour to Costa Rica as well. So it keeps the tour affordable, and it allows more students to see the world. So combined groups do get the best value. We get tour choice and departure dates that are more flexible. The students also get to meet other students from around the country, They will try and match us with middle school students. If that's not available, we will be matched with high school students. They will not be rooming with high school students in the hotels, but we will interact with them when we're out doing our excursions. One thing I would like to mention is when I went to Argentina, I was the youngest one there. Everybody else was 17 and 18 years old. And the type of the type of students that take these trips are academic students. Education is important for them. And they were a great role model for me. I still talk to all of them, and they were great role models. So, say there are high schoolers that get booked on our tour with us in the bus. I don't think it will be an issue at all. I think they're going to be great role models for the students. They won't necessarily interact with them often because it's a 1-to-6 ratio. They'll be with the chaperone, but they will be around when we're doing our excursions. Our departure date window is approximately June 12th to June 20th of 2017. It really is at the end of the school year 2017. So that is flexible just around the last couple days of school of 2017. Already included in the program price is the Global Travel Protection Plan. This covers tour cancellation or interruption, illness or an accident, so they do have insurance for the baggage and property, insurance for flight delays, and 24-hour access to an English-speaking representative if needed. This is how you can get credit for college or high school by taking these tours. So it's through WeShare, which is an EF program. So before the students, they will research a destination-related topic that they feel passionate about. So because each one of the days of our tour is related around some theme, I would say it would be best for the student to pick one of those themes, because while on the tour, they're going to learn a lot about it and be able to engage with that learning a little